Hola, mi amor. Are you ready to wake some people up today?
Always, because too many experts out there are still invisible, and that ends now.
This is the Inspire Authority podcast, where we teach coaches, creators, and entrepreneurs how to build unstoppable brands through writing, storytelling, and media.
I'm RJ Stewart Inspire, author, business coach, and creative strategist.
And I'm Noelle Ayana, digital creator, brand strategist, and yes, sometimes I call him mi amor.
Together, we're giving you the truth. No fluff, no filters. Because talent is nothing without visibility, and visibility is nothing without authority.
So buckle up, amor. It's time to turn your message into power and your story into profit.
Your love is a flame I surrender to.
You know, we're basically swimming in this sea of engineered perfection online, aren't we?
Yeah.
Every platform is just this constant, super polished highlight reel of success. And it's hard not to feel that pressure, pressure to perform, promote, prove you've somehow made it.
Yeah.
But for a lot of us, people who really care about integrity, about the actual work, the craft, well, bragging just feels wrong. There's this conflict, right? You need people to see your work for it to have an impact, but you really don't want to sound arrogant. You don't want to feel like you're just chasing attention. So that's exactly why we're here today. We're going to do a deep dive into some sources that really redefine authority. We want to show you how you can build that credibility, show your value, get respect, and keep your humility totally intact.
Yeah, and I think the starting point has to be tackling this myth of humble success. That belief that if your results are good enough, they'll just magically speak for themselves. That if you just put your head down and do great work, recognition will somehow find you.
Right, and which sounds nice, sounds noble even.
Yeah, it does sound noble, but strategically. In today's world, it's just not enough. The sources are pretty clear on this. In any field where getting noticed matters, silence isn't humility. It's often invisibility. People can't hire you or celebrate your expertise if they don't even know you exist, right?
Makes sense.
So true authority, it isn't built by hiding away. The absolute key distinction, and this really frames everything we'll talk about, is that authority is built on evidence, demonstrable value. It's not about ego, not about just patting yourself on the back.
Okay, evidence, not ego. Let's unpack that with the first strategy. Shifting from telling people you're great to actually showing them what's possible through proof. How do we do that without it feeling like bragging?
Well, it's about the energy behind it, as the sources put it.
The energy, explain that.
Bragging basically screams, look at him, look what I did.
Right, that's the energy.
Yeah, very self-focused.
Exactly, but genuine authority shifts that.
Yeah.
It says, look at what's possible now, look at what we achieved together, see the difference. That outward focus is the first big step. Okay, I see, focusing outward. But how do you maintain that? It seems like it would be really easy to slip into a kind of humble brag when you share a success.
Oh, absolutely. The temptation is definitely there. The sources really emphasize making your audience or your client the hero of the story, not you.
So case studies, client transformations, that kind of thing.
Precisely. When you talk about a success, the focus has to be on the client's breakthrough, the measurable change for them, not just how great you were or how much you earned from it.
And psychologically, why does that work so much better?
Well, what's fascinating is the sources suggest this builds credibility, maybe, 10 times faster than just saying, I'm awesome. It's about transference.
Transference.
Yeah, people don't hire you because they think you're some untouchable genius, usually. They hire you because they see a bit of themselves in the client you help. They see the challenge, they see the result, and they think, okay, if they did that for them, maybe they can do that for me.
So it connects to their potential future.
Exactly. Their potential outcome, which you've just proven you can deliver through helping someone else. You've provided evidence of service.
And the sources even got into specific language, didn't they? Ways to phrase things to stay on the authority side of the line.
They did. It's about avoiding that overly proprietary, self-congratulatory language, opting for more collaborative phrasing.
Okay, give me an example. Like, instead of, I totally crushed that deal for my client.
Right. Instead of that, maybe something like, I'm really proud of what we created together, or watching my client really step into their power here reminded me why I love this work.
The we. That feels different. Why is that we so powerful?
Because it signals collaboration. It shows you see yourself as working with someone, not just conquering a problem for them. Even if you did most of the heavy lifting, acknowledging the client's part, their willingness, their effort, It makes the success feel more real, more achievable for others.
Right. The arrogant language puts up a wall, but the authoritative language builds a bridge.
Exactly. That's the core of strategy 1, showing proof, focusing outward.
Okay, so strategy 1, show the results through proof. Strategy 2, this education equals elevation, sounds like it's more about showing the process.
You got it. And this is kind of a shortcut to authority that so many people just miss.
A shortcut. Tell me more.
Well, the principle is simple. Every time you teach something valuable, maybe in a social media post, a short video, a workshop, you're building trust. Instantly, you're positioning yourself as someone generous with their expertise.
So instead of just selling.
Right. Everyone's trying to sell something. Constantly. But how many are brave enough to actually teach something useful before asking for the sale? That act of giving first, that's powerful marketing. It's quiet power.
Okay, but I can hear listeners thinking, if I give away my best ideas, my frameworks,
Yeah.
won't I lose my edge? Won't people just take it and run?
Yeah.
What did the sources say about that fear? Because it's a real one.
It's a huge fear, and it's valid. But the sources address it head on. The goal of teaching publicly isn't to give away the entire store, It's about delivering aha moments, small wins.
Aha moments. Okay.
You're proving your competence, showing how you think, not necessarily giving away every single step of your paid service. By teaching a framework, for instance, you show the what and the why. You establish your unique approach.
But people still need help implementing it.
Exactly. The vast majority will still need help, your help, to implement it properly, customize it, get results faster. It's like showing someone the map doesn't mean you've given them the skills or the vehicle to navigate the journey. It just proves you know the way.
I like that. Sharing the map, but they still need the guide.
Precisely. So the practical steps are clear. Share frameworks, lessons learned, perspectives. Use storytelling so it's relatable, not just dry information. Focus on giving your audience those small, valuable wins that build real trust over time.
And connecting this back to authority. How does teaching achieve that?
Well, the sources describe it as maybe the most humble form of marketing because it implicitly says, I care enough to help you learn whether you ever become a paying client or not.
That's a powerful message.
It really is. And the result, when people learn from you consistently, they start to see you as a leader, a trusted guide, not just someone trying to sell them something. Once that belief is there, you don't have to constantly convince them of your value anymore. You've earned it through service and education.
Okay, this makes a lot of sense. Proof through results, authority through teaching. What about strategy 3? This feels important, the authenticity factor.
Yes, absolutely crucial. We've talked showing results, sharing process, but how do we connect as actual humans?
Right, because people don't really connect with just trophies or a perfect image, do they? They connect with truth, with growth, with the journey.
Exactly, and this is where the sources introduce something they call the rule of reflection.
Rule of reflection.
The core idea, if you weren't authority without that arrogant edge, is to tell your story from the scar, not the wound.
Scar, not wound. What's the difference?
It means speaking from a place where you've actually processed the experience. You've reflected, you've learned something, you're sharing the lesson learned from the challenge, not just venting about the raw pain while you're still in the middle of it.
Ah, okay. So it's about the emotional state when you share it.
Precisely. The wound is raw, maybe looking for sympathy or validation. Think of someone posting like, well, everything's falling apart, this project is a disaster. That's the wound talking.
Right, seeking pity maybe?
Yeah, but the scar, that takes time, reflection. It's looking back and saying, okay, that project nearly failed. Here's why, and here are the 3 things I learned about risk management that changed how I operate now.
So the energy shifts completely.
Totally. It goes from personal pain, needing comfort, to processed wisdom offering guidance. That vulnerability, the scar story, that's what builds authoritative connection.
But wait, why is vulnerability even necessary here? If you're the authority, shouldn't you kind of hide the mistakes, project strength?
It's a fair question. But the sources argue your audience needs you to be real. They don't need a perfect, unrelatable superhero. They need a human who's faced challenges and figured things out, who's resilient.
Resilience.
Yeah. When you share a failure, but crucially, you follow it up with the lessons learned, the strategies you developed because of it. You're not just being vulnerable, you're teaching resilience. You're showing success isn't linear, and you're giving them a potential roadmap if they hit a similar bump.
That makes authority feel much more human, much more trustworthy.
Exactly. It builds that deep foundational trust. It shows you're a guide who's actually walked at the path, not just someone shouting directions from the sidelines.
Okay, so we had these 3 powerful strategies. leading with proof, education equals elevation, and storytelling from the scar. How do we make this super practical, like for the post someone's thinking about writing tomorrow?
Right. Let's bring it down to a practical tool. The sources synthesize this into something called the bragging filter. It's based on work by a thought leader, RJ, and it's designed specifically to check your intent before you share.
A bragging filter. I like it. What is it?
It's basically 3 quick check questions you ask yourself whenever you're about to share something related to your success. Helps keep that confidence from tipping into arrogance.
Okay, let's hear them. Question 1.
Question 1, is this about proving my worth or showing my work?
Okay, proving versus showing. What's the difference in practice?
Proving your worth usually comes from insecurity, right? You feel doubted, you need that external pat on the back. Showing your work is more about documentation, sharing the process, sharing the outcome from a place of confidence. If the reason you're posting is because you feel undervalued, that's a red flag for proving. Focus on just documenting the journey or the result.
Got it. Okay, question 2.
Does this story celebrate me or the value I provide?
Celebrating me versus celebrating the value. How does that play out?
Celebrating you makes applause the main goal. Celebrating the value makes the positive impact the goal. So instead of just, look how much money I made, it's, here's how the client used that success to grow their team. Or, here's the ripple effect the solution had on their community. Focus on the impact, the transformation, not just your role in it.
Okay, that makes sense. And the final question, the litmus test.
This is the big one. Will this post make my audience feel inspired, informed, or inferior?
Inspired, informed, or inferior. Wow.
Yeah, this forces you to think about the receiver. Real authority aims to lift people up, to equip them.
Right.
If your post is likely to make someone feel less than, like your success is totally out of reach for them, you've crossed into bragging territory.
And the goal is always inspired or informed.
Always. If the honest answer is inferior, you need to step back, rework the post, refocus on the lesson, the possibility, the shared human element.
So if we boil down everything we've discussed, the proof, the teaching, the storytelling, this filter, what's the absolute fundamental difference?
It really comes down to intent, doesn't it? Bragging basically says, I'm better than you. It wants quick applause. It's transactional.
Whereas authority.
Authority says, look, I've been where you might be now. Here's the evidence of what's possible, and here's a lesson I learned that might help you. It aims for lasting impact. It's about building something together.
Which brings us to a final thought, maybe about finding that balance. It sounds like confidence and humility aren't enemies here.
Not at all. They're allies. True authority lives in that sweet spot. It's being able to look at what you've done and say, yes, I did the work. I stand by these results. That's confidence.
But
also having the self-awareness to add, and I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm still collaborating. That's humility. It's holding both.
Yeah, that feels right. Operating from truth, from the evidence and the lessons.
Exactly. When you do that, you stop chasing validation. You don't need the applause anymore. You start building real visibility, real influence. So the final thought, maybe the most provocative one from the sources, is this. Don't try to shout louder. Just speak clearer. With purpose, with evidence.
Because trust.
Because trust, not volume, ends up being the loudest flex of all.